Hi everyone. Okay, so here I am, first proper video in, and I want to talk about being a single mum by choice. Now, this video won't be for everyone, so please skip over it if it's not for you. But if you want to hear about my experience and how I got here, please keep on watching. So being a single mum by choice is challenging for sure. I think motherhood altogether is challenging anyway, but obviously extremely rewarding. I guess for me to get here, it took a lot of healing. I'm not going to lie. For most of my life, I literally didn't want to have a family. Always loved kids, nieces, nephews, friends, kids, everything. Always loved them, but never really wanted the family myself. And it wasn't until I hit my mid 30s, I think, or close to mid 30s, I started revisiting the idea and thinking, is this something for me? Is it what I want? Now, at the time I was actually with someone, and look, it didn't align. They didn't want a family. And so I had to kind of do a little bit of soul searching, a bit of deep down dark work. Spent a lot of time with my inner child and worked through some, I'm going to call them daddy issues, right? Because I think what it turned out is that I really didn't want to become a mum because I didn't want to be like my mum. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, because my mum is awesome. But what I mean is that I didn't want to be a single mum. I didn't want, a father or a partner to leave me. I didn't want to raise a child like I had been raised, with a single parent, with a broken family, with, a dad that wasn't really in the picture and didn't really seem to want to be in the picture either. So it was a lot for me to kind of deal with, right? But you know what? I worked my way through that, and I realized that through all of it, I was just fearful. I was fearful of the one thing that actually I think I needed the most, which was to become a parent, and a single parent at that, like a solo mum. I think I've learned so much going through this journey, not just through deciding to become a solo mum, but even like all of the healing I've done, all of everything that it's taught me on the way. I think I needed to go through that, but I also had to understand why I wasn't just jumping straight in and, becoming a mum. I needed to understand that, and I had to obviously go over those hurdles to get here, to get to where I am today. But having my son has honestly been the best thing, one of the best things to happen to me. I love him so much, and he literally lights up my life every single day. But man, it's tough. I just did not understand the gravity of being somebody's 100% every single day. I breastfeed, so I'm his food source, I'm his life source, I'm everything to him. And you know what? There is no break. There's no I can pass him off to someone else just for a little bit, or I need to go to the bathroom, I need to do that, I don't want him screaming, I need to have a shower. Like, the reality is all of those things are really tough sometimes. I have had to call friends to be able to wash my hair, and I know that sounds completely ridiculous, but it's real. And not wanting to leave him to just cry, or stepping into the shower and being like, okay, is he crying, like it's a really tough thing to kind of deal with. And so I'm with him 100% of the time, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And of course it is so rewarding. But there are so many things that I really just did not think about. Sometimes they're really small things too, like cutting his nails. Like, how ridiculous. But cutting a baby's nails without the help from someone else is really hard. Now I've got the knack of it and I understand how to do it, right? But just doing things like that are really difficult sometimes. And I've got to admit, like, I felt so lonely. I felt really, really lonely through this. And I want to say, like, I've got an amazing network, just incredible network of friends, women, family around me. Okay, sorry about that. The master was calling. He was hungry, so I had to go and feed him. So what I was saying was, like, you know, all about my network, but feeling lonely. I cannot describe the way sometimes I feel. Like, I'm literally never alone, but I am feeling lonely sometimes, and I think that is because there's no one to kind of bounce off all the time. I actually want to do a whole video on talking about that, like crippling loneliness, because I think it's really important to talk about. It's something that I had never even considered going into this, because I thought, well, I'm going to have a baby, so there's always going to be someone with me. I'm not going to be lonely, right? But I definitely want to cover that in another video, because I think I don't think it's just a single mum by choice thing. I think it's motherhood in general, but I do think it really hits hard as a single mum. But, like, you know, my network is amazing. I can call on them whenever I need to, but just not having that person, you know, a partner or something, like, with you all the time, just so you can do some really simple things, or, you know, duck out and get fuel late at night. I mean, I can't go anywhere. Once he's gone into bed, that's it. We're staying there, and you know, we're not doing anything else. I really have to consider, you know, plan my day out because of that sort of schedule, because I don't have any buffer before and after, you know, he's sleeping and things like that. So some of these things I just did not give a thought to at all, and they really govern your life. And look, you know what, I've met some really awesome single mums by choice. There's some really great like Facebook pages, some groups, especially around Australia. I'm sure there are, probably worldwide too. But, you know, just getting to meet people in your area that really understand what you're going through, I think is actually quite hard, honestly, because I do think, like, this mum guilt, like, has a massive play in it as well. You know, people that have gone through, like, IVF to have a baby, the last thing they want to do is be like, oh, my baby, you know, and be whinging about it or something. But it's reality. It absolutely is reality. And I think there needs to not be this, like, stigma attached to it. I think women need to be able to talk about it a bit more. I need to talk about it too. That's why I'm here, talking about it and trying to be, like, raw and really authentic about my feelings, in the hopes that this will kind of resonate with others, but also help other women that are going through this. You know, going through IVF just to get to that point is a massive feat on its own. But then to be that single mum by choice, like, you're literally going into this knowing that, you know, you don't have that help and support. But it is like, you don't really understand the weight of it until you're in it. You know, everything I do, you know, with him, you know, moving house, doing the grocery shopping, everything. And, you know, sometimes I might feel really guilty because I've left him to play in the lounge room and I'm not playing with him, I'm not interacting with him. But I also have the rest of the house to upkeep. And, you know, so many people say, oh, you know, they're only young once, all the mess will stay. And I totally get that. And I really try and live and use every single day to the max, but there is nobody else to do those things. There's nobody else to do the washing. There's nobody else to do the groceries. There's nobody else to do the cooking. It falls on me. If I don't do it, there is nobody else that's going to come in and be my, like, knight in shining armor, right? And help me out. So it does fall back on me. And, you know, it's the same with sleep, you know, like, sometimes I am so incredibly tired. And I go through my day and I'm like, where is the day gone? What have I done today? But because, H might have had a really rough night's sleep, been breastfeeding all night, I might only get like 1 hour blocks of sleep. And until you do that, I actually don't think anybody else understands. I know all the breastfeeding mums out there, mums in general, will just totally get that. Everybody else will think that they understand, but honestly, there is. I had no idea. I had no idea. People go, oh, you'll be tired. I had no idea. But that tiredness really sets in sometimes, and there's no relief, there is no reprieve. And so if you have a few nights like that, and then people go, oh, sleep when the baby's sleeping, you know what, absolutely, if your day permits that. But if you're out doing things, you're running errands, you're out in the car, you're doing all of that, do you know what? Baby sleep in the back of the car. You're driving. You can't sleep then. And it's just not always appropriate. Like often H will sleep like more in the morning than he will during the afternoon, right? So in the morning, I'm full of beans. I'm lively. I don't need to go back to sleep then. So again, it's just not appropriate sometimes. But yeah, you just don't really understand that until you're in it. And my heart and thoughts go with every single, not just single mum, but like with everybody that's going through this journey, because it's tough. But yeah, being that solo mum is, yeah, it really is very challenging. And I think choosing to do that again is quite another level, because lots of women go in to have families, but they're doing it with someone, right? I literally chose to do this on my own. And then sometimes I think, oh well, I did choose this on my own, so I shouldn't get the help and support. Of course I need the help and support. I'm human. And so anybody else going through this needs the help and support as well. So I mean, my advice to anybody who knows someone in this position, reach out to them, offer them, even if it's just to come over for a few hours so they can go and wash their hair, or see if they want to have a chat. And remember, like, there's all those like really important times, whether it's Christmas, Easter, whatever other religious events people celebrate. Often they're on their own. Reach out to them and see how they're doing and see how they're going, because yeah, they're together. Like, so the mum and the kids are together, but they're not with anyone else often. And for me, I'm in an extra unique situation because I'm here in Australia on my own. And what I mean by that is that I'm not surrounded by family. Yes, I've got my network of friends, but all of my family are overseas in the UK. And lots of women that go into this at least have some family support around, whereas I have zero, which is, again, very challenging. And that's not to say that I don't have some amazing support, because I do. And, my heart goes out to all of you, you know who you are, who help me out, especially when I need it. And, without that, it would be even tougher, this gig. But I want to know from you guys, like, have you experienced this? Do you know someone experiencing this? Do are you looking at doing this? I've got some friends that are, considering going down this route. And I think it's really important for me to be honest, true and raw with them about what this is like. Doesn't mean that it's going to change your decision to do it. But I think having disclosing everything about it, I think is super duper important. So that everyone has all of the information before they make that decision. But yeah, what else do you want to know? Like, do you feel comfortable going into it? Have you done it and you have some regrets? Have you done it, you have no regrets, but you wish you'd known something? Like, hit me up. I'd love to hear about your journeys as well. Because I think every single one is unique too. And that's really important to understand. But but yeah, I think I'll be revisiting this topic and subtopics around it many times, I think, because it's a huge part of my life. And like I said, I have now met someone, but they do live overseas, and that makes it very challenging too. So I'm still here doing that on my own. But also there's lots of people that don't then want to meet someone. They want to just be going through this on their own. They have multiple children. Like, what does that look like? There are just so many facets to being a solo mum, and it is amazing. Like, I don't have to run anything by anybody else. Like, I make all those decisions to do with my son, and it's amazing, but it's also really difficult too, not having that extra person to be able to bounce things off all the time. But yeah, anyway, hit me up. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know any questions you have. I would love to know your experiences. If you're considering it, and I will jump back in at any point. I'll answer some questions if you need, but also talk about lots of other things around this too. But thank you again for listening. Thank you. Love you all. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.